This is the evergreen forest. Quiet, peaceful, serene.
Well, the summer has just begun and the shed's already just a friggin' disaster. Oh, I need another place to put stuff that I just get out of the scrapyard. Like this Torcan box fan. I wonder if this one's newer or older than the one that I have. Civilized. Looks like it's got the same looking blade with that center fan looking hub. Looks like the box here is just a little pushed out. Wonder what happened there. Easily straightenable. Unfortunately, the grill has definitely seen better days. I don't think this fan would be a very great historical demonstration piece or whatever. And another bummer is 3 of the blades have big chunks out of the ends of them there, which is undoubtedly probably going to throw the balance off pretty badly. It'll probably shake. She's fairly rusty, although I wouldn't be too worried about just rust alone. Sandable and paintable or whatever. But yeah, this grill, it's just a little too hurting. But since I'm not the type of person to consider this garbage yet, I'll hoard it. I'll keep it around. Here's what the switch looked like, or the thing there for it. It's actually in good shape. I guess if the grill's a little beat, it could still be a usable fan. Wonder where they got string on it here. Number one problem is we don't seem to have a power cord. She's gotten the snips at some point. See a little nick in the wiring right there, although I think that's... nope, never mind, that's dirt. Just brutal thin dust buildup here. I thought we had like chafed wires, but that's just chafed dust. Clean the dust off and the wires are in good shape. Here's our switch. Looks like it had a chunk of string on it for some reason there. Wonder if it's been apart. This is obviously where our cord comes out of the unit, but why is it just completely flat? Oh look, it came out the side. Huh, that's cool. So I'll chop that and we'll see if it works. Alrighty, we got her chooched in there. With what? Oh, it works! Oh my gosh! It works perfect. I'm honestly kind of surprised. Wonder what speed it is. It sounds like low, but it could be doing its classic vintage box fan thing where it spins slow at first and then after a while all of a sudden takes off. I definitely wouldn't say that oil is like too thick. If anything, it's probably a little on the dry side, but it's definitely not that bad. I was trying to figure out a way to mount the switch here so it isn't just dangling, but I'm just really struggling here. I'm thinking I'm actually missing a piece to this, like maybe a piece that was fastened to here somehow and then mates up to here with a couple of screws or something. I guess I'm just missing something here. Because like, how was that supposed to really hold it on? One squarish looking hole right there, which isn't very deep. I don't have a screw that's shallow enough to just screw into that shallow top hole just enough to hold it on. It wouldn't be enough to keep it from wiggling around. As you can see, we don't have any other screw hole provisions. Nothing very spectacular under here. I do see some like evidence that there was something square looking there. Yeah, there must have been some sort of like a cover or something around this switch. And then that's what you would like screw onto here. I guess without any further ado, let's test the speeds on her. Yeah, frick, my hand cracked and I thought I got shocked. Oh, that's high. Okay. Higher. Oh, okay, that was medium. There. Huh, well, it doesn't shake terribly. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but there is a bit of jiggle. But I mean, hey, she roars to life. I'd say that thing would probably be usable. It still moves air. It's actually really quiet. It's actually a nice, quiet box fan, man. Too bad she's in such rough shape. The bearings are definitely dry. You can hear the scratch a little bit. Well, the spin down time's not terrible. She's a bit of a jiggler when you hold it in the middle here. Well, I haven't done this in a long time. Let's see if we can get some sort of a startup sound with the camera pressed up on the housing like I used to do. Shaking made my thumb want to push on the zoom there. It does seem to have a slightly oily residue on it, so somebody must have cared for it at one time. Oiled it once in a while. Well, don't worry, fan. You'll be loved again. I don't think I could give up on you, especially if you work. Wonder where the oil ports are. You never know, the oil ports might be just like where my Holmes box fan from the 90s. The oil port's just like right about in here. It's just like a little lip that opens from right above the bearing, and you just put a few drops of oil in there and it soaks into the wick. Maybe this one's similar. Well, kind of got the other grill back on there. Let's see how she performs. High speed. You know what? This thing doesn't make very much noise, but it also doesn't move very much air either. I didn't clean it or nothing. I guess I should have at least wiped the scoops of the blades off. Having dust build up right on the scoop there is actually quite an airflow killer. Especially on fans with less pitch. Yeah, I just can't get over how quiet it is. Look at that, eh? When it's sitting here, it's actually not even shaking hardly at all. I wonder if it was putting the other grill on, stabilized the box a bit more, and now it's kind of canceling out some of that shake. Because look at it. That's like totally usable stableness now. Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive. Well, I guess we might as well cycle through the speeds. Fight with the switch. Okay, I'll turn it the right way, bud. There. Medium. Slows right down. This seems like it should be a low speed. Now she's getting a little bit of a jiggle here on medium. Wow. I wonder if this thing would actually speed up if I oiled it, or if this is kind of what its speeds are supposed to be. Let's put it to low. That's deadly. That's probably the calmest low speed I have for a vintage box fan. It's actually just a nice strong breeze. That's about how I'd describe low speed right now here. This would actually be really nice for in a bedroom if you're sleeping. Just very gentle. Gentle noise, gentle airflow. This would be awesome to have in your window at night. Blasting in a bunch of air, but not making lots of noise doing it. It's too bad she's so hurting. I kind of fell in love with it. I'm pretty sure this one's a little smaller than my other one. This one's like that Weston fan in size comparison. Honestly, the spin down's pretty darn good on it. Maybe the bearings aren't that dry. Or maybe now that it's warming up a little bit, maybe some of the oil's coming out of the wick, coming out of the bearing itself. I don't know. Because I did hear some dry bearing sound there a little earlier. Wasn't much, wasn't very bad. Crank it. Oh yeah, that switch is getting a lot nicer to turn now. Let's give her some quick blips and listen for the bearings again here. No, actually they sound pretty good. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the bearings do actually have some decent oil in them. I guess I wouldn't be entirely surprised given that the motor kind of had some oily residue on it. As we've already figured out, somebody has oiled it a time or two in its life. I mean, I'm sure I've got fans that were intended to be oiled but have never been oiled and they still seem to work fine. Not like this thing. Second time in its life that it's locked up. Can't really blame it though. I might have used the wrong oil on it way back when I first cleaned this fan up for this guy. That may have been when I was using detergent oil, so I guess considering it went like 10 years, it's pretty good. But anyways, I think I'm gonna put this old sucker away for a while, and maybe someday I'll break out some fancy little hammers and start tapping some of these dents out. I kind of wanted to, I did make that video of straightening out that heater, kind of as for practice. You know, I kind of like the heater. It wasn't anything worth spending a brutal amount of time straightening out, but I wanted to practice on something, and I don't want to practice on just nothing. There's no ambition to do that, right? So I like that little heater. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and just practice straightening this thing out. Now I think I actually would be confident enough to tackle something like this, you know, kind of try and straighten it out. Of course, I don't think we're ever going to get a perfect shine out of it. As you can see, she's like definitely not perfect. Same with the sides, they're kind of, well, of course it was thrown in a scrapyard, eh? So sometimes you get nice looking stuff out of there though. But this time it wasn't the case. You can see the little bit of a kink right here, but again, that could be straightened, and looks like some of the corners are coming apart. Person could just clean it up and put some JB weld in the corners. That would really strengthen them up again from the inside. The grill, as I've already said, it's just frigged. There's no way a person's gonna like try and plastic weld it or something. I'd probably just stitch it, you know, back together so it was back in line again. And whatever little chunks are missing are just gonna have to be missing. The edges are messed up. We can see there's a big old crack there. That screw's collapsed. But the piece is still in there, so I might be able to actually glue that back and make it structural again. Bottom whole rib is missing here, most of it anyway. The back side, I guess there's a chunk at the bottom there, but it's actually not terrible. I feel like the front grille is probably a little less noticeably damaged. You know, like, sure, this looks terrible from an angle like this, but if we just move the camera like this, you know, it only looks just a little bit messed up. So once everything's all straightened out and get some nice thin wire and wire it back together, wouldn't look terrible. I guess there's a chunk missing out of the middle, but again, might be a great old window fan. Doesn't shake enough to be considered unusable in my opinion. Cool. Well, I didn't think I was actually going to be able to consider adding this to my collection. It's definitely the single most rubbiest box fan in my collection, but what the heck, it's even still got the handle.
In this case, their fuel supply.
I guess I do have my power thing on there. I don't think that would be adding enough weight to change the amount it vibrates. Oh yeah, it does. No, actually no, it doesn't. But it doesn't always mean that. I don't know. Again, we're going to just not include that.